Okay, we are live with my friend and pre-launch plan program student, Dolly DeLong. And I'm so excited that she's here, especially because today the new cohort, the full fall cohort of the pre-launch plan program is just opening up. Doors literally just opened. And I'm so excited to have you here, Dolly. Dolly actually took the program 2 times ago, or 2 cohorts ago. So it would have been last year about this time. And Dolly, tell people a little bit about you and your business.
Yeah. First of all, Brenna, I am so excited to be here. Thank you for asking me to come on here. It's an honor. For those of you who are new to me, my name is Dolly DeLong. I have two sides to my business. I am a Nashville-based fine art and family photographer. And then the second side of my business is I am a systems and workflow and launching educator. I also teach about launching, and I love all things systems, workflows, SOPs, all
Everything I'm horrible out, Dolly
that
loves.
stuff.
So
I love it.
I know when you were thinking about, obviously PPP is for the second arm of your business, but maybe not. You could probably use some of it in
You.
even your photography part. So when I know when you decided to join the pre-launch plan program, to give everyone a little bit of background, there was a little bit of hesitancy. Like you had thought about it in the past, and at the time when I opened up the cohort, you were probably on the fence. And so can you talk to us a little bit about like what was going through your head?
Yeah, so several things were going through my head. First of all, Brenna, I don't know if you mentioned this or not, but I do have two littles. So I have a soon to be 6-year-old and a soon to be 2-year-old. And at the time, I was in the thick of like the first year of my 2-year-old's life. And so I was worried I wouldn't have the time, mental capacity and space to really concentrate on what Brenna was going to be teaching. So that was one fear I had. The second fear I had was I had previously in a previous year invested in another mastermind that did not deliver on its promise. Like the instructors overpromised and underdelivered, and I was very ever since then I've been just overly cautious about how I spend my money, who I invest in, because everybody online, like it's just like everything is shiny online and you're like, oh, is this true, is this real, is this transformation true? And so I was very skeptical because of my past experience. And then the third thing was I do have a background in operations and systems. And so I thought, well, I can figure this out on my own. I can like do this. I can like just figure it out on my own. Oh, and then the fourth facet, what had to do with investment as well, me being worried. Like I kind of guess it goes with the second point. I was just worried about, am I going to waste money again? Is this going to be a time suck for me? So those were four things running through my head.
Right. And I know that like at one point you and I had gone back and forth, and I if I remember correctly, you were like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. And I was like, totally cool. Like if you change your mind in the future, I'd love to have you. And then you sent me a message and you're like, I'm in. And I was like, wait, what happened? So can you talk a little bit about like what happened from nope, I'm not doing it to like, yep, I'm totally in.
Well, again, like everything is, like us as entrepreneurs, everything is so multifaceted. Well, maybe not for everyone, but for me, there's so many layers. And so one layer was what really helped out was the fact that you had a payment plan option, because I was under the impression, oh, I'm gonna have to pay everything up front. So I don't necessarily have the funding, and or I feel like I just had that fear about I'm making a bad investment mistake because of what happened to me in the past. And so I loved that you worked individually with everybody in the program on a payment plan that worked for them. So one, I appreciated that so much. And then two, I knew at the back of my head, Brenna, like that you were a trustworthy educator and leader. And I knew that because we have been interacting way before I was even interested in your program. I was in another group program of a mutual friend of ours, Linda Sidhu, and she taught me all about quizzes at the time when she was teaching that. And I had a great experience in her program, and that's how I met you. And you just really established yourself as a really good leader and copywriter. And I just loved, I loved learning from you. And so those two things, just like the payment plan option, and then me at the back of my mind, just knowing that you were a woman of your word, that just helped me make that decision. Like, okay, I have the clarity. I'm going to do this program and like invest in Brenna.
Yeah. And so once you got in, like, what was it like? Was I a woman of my word once you got in? Because I think that's that's really the hesitant. Like, I hear it so much, is that people are just nervous to invest. They're hesitant. Like you said, unfortunately, people have been in the same situation as you. They've invested heavily in something,
Yeah.
and they got lulled in on the great marketing, but really when it came down to it, it was not what it appeared to be. So can you talk a little bit about your experience once you got inside the program?
Yeah. So Brenna, I don't know if anybody's told you this, but I enjoy how organized you are. And maybe you don't feel like that for yourself, but I feel like you were so organized. You had everything laid out. You had all the lessons laid out already. So I knew going in, this is when to expect the calls. This is when certain modules or certain homework pieces are done that will build on top of each other. You gave us all very good clarity as to, and you cast a vision for us, which was really good. So you gave us a vision, and then you also gave us structure, which are two things I particularly need. I need structure, I need a vision, and then I will go with it. Versus some people are just really good about, like you were saying, casting a vision, but then there's absolutely no structure whatsoever. And it feels like you're in like a dark cave. You just don't know where you're going, but not the case with you. You made it very clear from the get-go. Everything was laid out, and I really did enjoy that you had the Zoom calls, and then you also had I enjoyed like listening in to other members, what their launches were like, and you would literally give really good feedback for everyone. So I guess when it comes down to it, because I'm very long-winded, I'm sorry, it just
Oh, no.
comes to you being super structured, which I appreciate that, because if I'm going to make a good investment, I really love that it was all laid out and that you were going to guide us through each of the modules.
Yeah. And for anyone who's listening to, like, I worked with a curriculum specialist, still consult with a curriculum specialist, because there's always, always looking for ways, like, how can we make this clear, easier for the person that's going through. Yeah. And so to hear that, I think my natural gift is not organization. I wouldn't consider that. So that's a huge compliment to me, in terms of something that I have worked hard to make sure that it is as organized as it possibly could be. So I love that. And then, so once you got, now, I would love to know, like, as someone is systems, like, you're not using it like a copywriter, can you talk about how it's helped you with client work and your own business for that matter?
Yeah, okay. So there are two things that immediately come to my mind and how like PPP especially helped me. I'm going to talk about the photography side of my business. So my service-based business. I am way better at like looking at my marketing now for the photography side of my business and helping cast a vision for my clients. So right now it's September, and I am talking about Christmas or even spring to my potential clients. And so that is helping them, like, not create a sense of urgency, but create a sense of, oh, we need to start planning our booking with Dolly, or we need, like, if they are pregnant, then, oh, I know I'm going to give birth in February, so I need to get on Dolly's books right now. So with your structure, you helped me see that launching is not just about the open cart week, it's about promoting yourself in a very strategic way, and a very, like, my brain works in systems, like in a very systemized way. And so I now can look at my marketing as, okay, I'm promoting myself, but also these are all leading to something specific. One side is photography services, and then the other side, how can I promote my systems and workflow education in a strategic way? And so that was that was so clarifying for me.
And so, and how about, I know you've had some great results because now you also use it to work with clients. And
Yes.
so can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Okay. So going back to the you helping me seeing that pre-launching or launching is promoting yourself. And so that has helped me better communicate with my own clients. Like, because I do help clients on the system side with their own launch plans. So originally I was helping them out with launch plans with like the system side, like the tech setup and the operation side and organizing, which are all things I still do. But now I've taken it a step further and I'm helping them clarify, like getting down to like what the meat of their message and transformation is, because you taught me that. And then I'm also helping them see their promotional period, their priming period as like promoting themselves, marketing themselves consistently, and the importance of that. And not, because I work with a lot of creative minded business owners, and they just want to post whenever they're inspired, which, I mean, that's good at some points. But then with consistent marketing, I'm like, okay, we need to develop a cadence, and this is why. And so working with you helped me clarify how to communicate that with my clients. And now they see the importance of promoting their either digital product or group program in a more like strategic ways is the best way I can describe it.
Right. Do you, and we haven't talked about this, but do you feel like it's helped you, well, I guess in your confidence in selling your packages and then also in what you're able to charge for your packages?
It definitely has given me so much more confidence, because now I have case studies to showcase. It's not just me using the case studies of my photography business. It's me using case studies of real, like, other business owners outside of myself. And so and then you also gave me the confidence to promote. It's like so layered, Brenna. Like, you also gave me the confidence to promote myself, because you need to promote yourself, and because it's marketing yourself, because it's leading to your offers. And so I started doing that more, and people started noticing. And so that has translated to more people reaching out to me. And I I want to be clear with everyone, like, it's not like I'm taking on so many clients every month. Like, I have one client, and I work with them for a 3-month period with their launch. And then I'm also doing photography. So it's a balance for me. Um, but just like, it all comes down to, I know we're going to talk about this more and more, but like knowing how to message myself, and that has given me more confidence and clarity.
And when you say, because people will hear messaging, but they're like, okay, what does messaging it really mean? What does that mean to you?
Yeah. Okay. So, wow, okay, it will probably come across as this to everyone who's watching this and listening into this, but I can be pretty long-winded. Like, it takes me a long time to get to the point, because again, I am walking the line of, again, I am creative brained myself, and I just want to express myself and let people know how I feel. But then working with you, Brenna, has helped me like get to the heart of the message, meaning I need to know what, if I'm selling a service, or if I'm promoting a service, I need to know exactly what the one promise or the one transformation of that service is going to be. Because in the past, I've attached like 20 transformational promises, and it's just so much fluff. And you've helped me cut through the fluff. You've helped me say, okay, let's distill this down, and then let's focus on like the features, the benefits, but really let's still distill it learning how to distill my messaging has been key. And it's something I'm still working on. Like I think every single quarter of my marketing, I'm still working on that, like distilling that promise, that message. And so, and it's been more clarifying with my clients because I explain to my clients, okay, like how can we distill this promise for this group program, for example? And it's been so helpful for them. And in turn, it's just like a positive domino effect. It impacts me and impacts. So everything I learned from you has been such a positive domino effect.
And I know we talked about it briefly, I think it was yesterday, that you still go back to the
Yes.
program. And can you speak to that? Because a lot of times you're like, oh, I take a program, it's one, it's done. It's like, no, you are continually going back to it.
Yes. So I applaud you for being so organized. And I know you said earlier, you're like, that's not a strength, but seriously, Brenna, it's a secret strength of yours that is within you. But I go back and I listen, especially to module 1 about like honing in on your one transformative promise. I forget what it's like a OOO, outstanding offer.
Offer overview is
Yeah,
outstanding offer overview. So if you are listening and you're like, what the heck is that? Essentially, it's your elevator pitch. And I joke, it's like it's the way you communicate in 1 to 2 sentences very clearly exactly what you do and why someone wants it. But it's also or what your offer is and why someone wants it. But it's also like the 2 sentences that you feel like could take you like 2 weeks to write sometimes, because it's getting that crystal clarity on the offer and where we're sending people to in a pre-launch.
exactly. It's like kind of like hooking them in. And for me, um, so I go back and I'm not even joking about this, Brenna, like at least like in the last year, I've rewatched that one lesson twice. Like as I have been either honing in on my offers or creating new offers, I always go back to that lesson. And I don't viewers like don't assume like you just have to sit down and like take notes. I actually go on a lot of walks because remember I'm a mom and now I'm a dog mom, so I have to take my dog on the walk. And so I just pop my headphones in and I listen to Brenna on my walk, and it just like helps me, like I'm just like listening to her voice, and so it's helping me clarify that. I call it the OOO, like you said, the outstanding offer overview. And that's been so helpful for me.
Oh, I love that. And I'm so happy. Yeah, it's something that I it's one of my favorite things to help people with too,
Mhm.
because and one of the reasons why up to this point I have kept this alive program, because I think talking this out and hearing other people talk about it, and sometimes it's easy and then sometimes it takes a moment to really I was teaching in a group yesterday, and it was interesting. I had one person where we were able to get, it was actually we're working on the buyer belief statement, which is a statement that goes with the outstanding offer overview. But like one person, we were able to get it really quickly. And then another one, it was like, no, we need to do more research. We need to figure this out. So the not the last thing I'll ask you, I actually have 2 more questions, but can you talk a little bit about some of the results, some of the case studies that you with working with clients and applying some of these processes that we've been talking about?
Yeah, definitely. So one specific one that I definitely want to highlight is a client I worked with this year. She was wanting to launch a group program. She's a teen coach. She's a coach for teens with ADHD. So what that means is she coaches their parents and the teens together on how to work and how to have a peaceful and unified home. And she wanted to launch a group program because she has had one very successful private coaching clients, and so she needed to coach more. So what I did was I worked with her on her OOO because like she can teach on so many different facets of ADHD. Like there's so many things that teens and parents need to know about ADHD. So there was like so much confusion at the beginning of her initial launch, like she didn't know where to begin. So we slow down tremendously and we're like, okay, what is one definite promise that your group program will provide? Like that transformation that parents need to know right now, and to be educated in. And so we distilled it. That's how I describe it. We distilled it down. And when we got to that one promise, that one transformation, we took that and we pre-launched from there. Like, of course, there was a lot of different other puzzle pieces, but because she was so honed in on her messaging, her not only her private clients, but her email list, her social media, her she has a very successful Facebook group. Like they were starting to notice that clear messaging across all of her platforms. And she sold out of her group program like at the beginning of summer, which to be honest, she was not expecting that. Like because she had worked with a big,
This summer?
yeah,
Whoa, that's
yeah.
amazing, especially right now.
Yeah, and I was nervous too because I was like, because I knew going in, she had worked with a bigger marketing company that had done paid ads, and it all fell flat. Like they did not do all of that work with her beforehand. They were just like, we'll just throw money at it because you're a successful coach, like you'll get it. It's fine. And it fell flat. And what she needed to work on was that, like, just that messaging and getting it clear and distilled. And then, so we got that, which again, I learned that from you. And then I came in, I was like, okay, these are the operations that we need to put in place. And so she had, let's just say on her first day of her cart open, she wasn't at her computer hitting refresh, like seeing the sales come in. She's at the golf course with her husband. Like she was like, we've done everything. I feel really good about this. And she sold out. And I just, that just speaks to the power of like knowing your messaging and getting super clear on it and knowing who it's for. Because again, that theme alone of ADHD, that could be for like anybody. But she got so super clear. And so, yeah,
And
it's powerful.
you did a pre-launch up to that point, right? Up to the launch.
We did. And we just like dug into her email list and her Facebook group. And we did not start like a blog or a YouTube channel or a podcast. Like she was not doing those things. So we did what was already working for her. And we went with that.
Oh gosh, I love it. And I love that it happened so recently, right?
Yes.
I think there's this feeling like, oh, it's like launching's not working. And the fact that you were able to launch a brand new group coaching program and sell out is just it's just outstanding, especially when it sounds like she had a, quote unquote, a failed launch or failed marketing attempt in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I know that there's a lot of uncertainty right now with, like, I'll say it like the election coming up and the economy and everything. And people are saying, well, launching isn't working or marketing isn't working. I'm not selling. And, I can see both sides, but you said this perfect quote the other day in your Facebook group, Brenna. I'm going to butcher it, but it was like, even if the launch doesn't go as planned, you are still, again, please forgive me for butchering, like you're still stacking all of that content. Does that ring a
Well,
bell?
yeah, you're still stacking your odds, which is right. Like, yes, there is uncertainty. And especially someone, sometimes like people will say, oh, well, can you guarantee I'm going to get these results? And I'm like, okay,
No, there's
no
no
one can make
guarantee.
there's no guarantees. I wish there was, believe me,
Yeah.
I wish there was,
Yeah.
but I do, like, I can speak with conviction that I truly believe you stack your odds in your favor when you do this process.
Yes. And like even if let's say somebody joins and they launch and they get one person in, it's not failed at all. Cause like you said, like we're stacking and then the next launch, more eyes are on it. And so it doubles. And then that I'm not saying it's going to double, but I'm just saying like when you get this cadence of marketing under, like, this is how I view it. When you start having a cadence of marketing and promoting yourself and your services, it's just easier for you to do that in the next quarter and then the next quarter. And then it just builds on top of each other. Um, I just like don't want anybody watching this to be like, okay, I'm just gonna launch one time. It's gonna be like amazing. Well, it will be amazing because you did it, but it's just launching is not just a one and done thing. I view it as inserting it into your marketing promotional periods year round. I love launching at least 2 or 3 times a year. Like I love it. It's fun for me.
Well, and I think I would love to ask you about that then too, is like, okay, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
What kind of dog did you get, by the way?
Okay, so we adopted this dog and I don't know what it is, but she's really good. She's really chill. She's like, I've heard the past owners told us she's half beagle, but she doesn't even look like a beagle to me. But the only beagle I know is Snoopy. So that's a cartoon character. So I'm like, I don't know, she just looked like Snoopy. But
Yeah, we just adopted a dog. That's why I asked. But so I think for you as a busy mom who is someone who works limited hours
yeah.
because you're a mom of small children. So can you talk a little bit about how it's giving you a system that you can
Mhm.
follow and how that's made your overall marketing easier?
Yeah, so I love to, and I know this isn't ideal for everyone, and I know not everyone watching loves to plan, but just hear me out. I love planning things out. And so usually at the top of the year, because I just like a clean slate, I like to look at the full calendar year. And first of all, I put on my photography hat and I'm like, okay, when are the weekends that I can do sessions or mini sessions, for example? Now I'll mark that on my calendar. Of course, after going through my family plan calendar and like what's happening with my husband's work and everything, after I've like marked all those dates out, then I put the dates on for my photography sessions, potential photography sessions. And then I put on my systems and workflow hat. I'm like, okay, what services that I offer when do I want to promote that? And where can I fit this in my marketing calendar? And so I start marking my calendar. Okay, this would be a really good date for um, doing a podcast because I have a podcast. So a podcast series about the systems and workflows of, I don't know, let's say launching. I've done that before. So launching, what would be a good series? So I insert that. What could that lead to? Is that something, Brenna? I also use stress. Like your launch should lead to your services. Like that's how I read it. Like your priming period should lead to of course, your open cart period, but also to your other services as well. So I try to think like marketing wise, how can I lead to my services? Like what should be my promotional periods? And then when my open cart is, like, what can I be doing in the weeks leading up that would get more people aware of what's happening? And so I realize I use my hands a lot. So I'll stop using my hands, but
I did a live yesterday with Shannon McKinstry, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like all over the place. So
I'm literally all over the place, but I need that visual to see, okay, when am I wanting to lead to the photography side of my business, promotional marketing, and then how can I lead to my systems and workflow side? And seeing those visuals, seeing like the layout of it has been so helpful for me. And then I know how to infuse that into my own marketing because I have, like I said, I have a podcast. I lean into my email list. I do a lot of organic marketing. None of this is through Facebook ads or Meta ads. It's all organic. And then also, how can I build an audience that wants to learn about one of these two? Because I'm catering to two audiences. So essentially, Brenna, you've taught me how to talk to two different audiences, which I also appreciate because I had to like distill the message for, so I essentially had to do this homework for two different sides of my business. So, and it's been this year, like as I've been putting, because I took your PPP program, it was last fall.
yeah.
I was thinking about, I was like, was it 2 years ago? No, it was literally last fall. And I going into 2024, because we finished in December of 2023, going into 2024, I've had so much clarity about, okay, this is my launch runway. This is my priming period. This is how I need to show up. And it's just, I have a lot of confidence. I don't want to keep on saying the word clarity, so I'll use the word confidence, but I have clarity and I have confidence in my marketing.
Yeah, no, and there's no better feeling than that.
Yeah.
And when you say clarity and confidence, maybe we go a step deeper. Like, how has that changed how you think about things?
Well, one thing is don't I think we talked about this in our DMs to each other, but I'm like, I don't have to like market to the masses. Like, I know that growing an email list is essential. Like, it is essential, but I'm not in a rush, in a mad rush to get like thousands on my list that won't even convert. Like, I am always looking to gain more subscribers who are like who want to learn about systems and workflow education, or who want to learn about photography, of one of those two segments. And so I I don't know how to explain it really well. I just don't feel so frantic to like grow my list, like put out a PDF, grow my list. Like, I know what type of content to create, and then it will attract the right person. It might feel like a trickle, but at least those people are engaged to my email list and engaged and are communicating with me every week. And so I know I'm on the right path because of the engagement.
Yeah, no, it's a great feeling. So as we're kind of wrapping up, if someone's like on the fence like you were last year, and like I'm not quite sure that they want to do the pre-launch plan program, what would you say to them?
Oh, so many things. Okay, first of all, just get in Brenna's DMs and talk to her. She will be so open and honest with you. I mean, Brenna shared earlier, like, she even told me, like, okay, if it's not a good fit for you, it's not a good fit. She's no pressure. Like, seriously, Brenna is no pressure. And she will be honest with you if it's a good fit or not. And also, Brenna is the real deal. Like, she's not paying me to say this. Like, she's not gonna like Venmo me like $10 million to say this. Like, I'm being honest. I am one of those like we are all lurkers on social media. We're lurking, we're watching what other people are doing to see if they're true to their word. And be honest, like, I'm sure everybody does that. So I will admit I'm a lurker. I'm a professional lurker. And I like see, like, are they who they say they are? And Brenna is who she says she is. Like, she is that and more. And she's very professional and very accepting of everyone, and very just like she will send you, like, when you're in the program. I enjoyed that she sent me one-to-one messages, like, to help me clarify my messaging and to help me like overcome any obstacles I had. So she really does put in the time and effort for each student. And she's Brenna, you're very approachable. I like maybe it's because we're moms. I like our like I don't know, but you're very approachable and you're non-judgmental, and I just have enjoyed and I will always be a Brenna fan, always. So
Thank you. Well, I appreciate it. And I am glad that you have loved the program and have been able to use the program so extensively and to change your business. So thank you, Dolly, for being here with me. And
yeah.
for anyone who's watching, the pre-launch plan program is open today. Doors close next week. It like Dolly said, if you are hesitant, send me a DM. I'm happy to discuss whether or not this would be a good fit for you. And thank you, Dolly, for being here with me today. I'm so thankful.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh wait, Dolly, before I go, sorry. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting something. Tell people where they can find you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So everyone can find me on Instagram at Dolly DeLong Education. Or if you like listening to podcasts, I'm at the Systems and Workflow Magic podcast. And Brenna has actually been on 2 episodes. So yeah, look
Yes.
for Brenna's episodes.
Yes, go listen. So perfect. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.